Welcome back, everyone, to the Steel Donut Collective. My name is Bob. With me today, I have the whole crew. We've got Yella.
Good day.
Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt.
Connor.
Hello there.
And Blake.
Hey, everybody.
And we're back in Spooktober. Ooh. It's another classic creepy.
I am the ghost of Creepypasta's past.
Yeah, we suck.
We were gone for a reason.
Squidward's Suicide is a classic Creepypasta.
A classic in the sense that a lot of people know about it.
A lot of people know about it, obviously, for, given the title. There will be some talk of suicide,
and some talk of Squidward, but don't worry.
And some talk of Squidward. I just want to start off by saying, if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There just isn't one.
I just want to start off by saying, yes, this sucks, okay? Don't get your fucking hopes up. I'm not going to explain anything. This is going to be bad.
And let me cut this sentence down. Editor's note, I just want to start off by saying, prepare to be disappointed.
I just want to start off by saying I did not write an ending for this, okay?
I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. But it did have some perks beyond education.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine, I think.
I'd hope.
Yeah. I'd like to, maybe get a job there afterwards.
Yeah, like that might be a thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would shit themselves over it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I mean,
the author was like, what could make me maybe seem like an adult?
Is our standard of impressiveness whether it would impress a child? That's not a good standard.
Well, it is Nickelodeon.
$200? Oh boy! Like, okay.
Also, I like how it's like, author writing this, 16, they're like, man, what would an adult say? What would someone graduating from college say? Oh, yeah, they would say a curse word.
Yeah, kids would shit themselves over it. Then again, depending on how old I was, if I was in diapers, I might have shit myself anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, since I worked directly with the editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes days before they aired.
I should hope so.
Yeah, he was subscribed to Nickelodeon on Patreon.
They finished it and they aired it the day of.
Yeah, it was always a race to finish the
that
episode.
bad boy out straight off the sheets onto the TV.
Like I said,
Anime cartoons aren't all done like South Park. Usually these are all done like in advance.
Yeah.
No, man.
Days before they made it on there. They finished it like 2 days before it had to go up. Like, fuck me.
They make it in advance, and if you subscribe to them on Patreon, you get to view it a day early.
Yeah. That's how Nickelodeon's Patreon.
Unlike the STC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't do that. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details.
Okay.
You already have, but all right.
Yeah.
They had very recently made the Spongebob movie.
It's less shit for you to get wrong, so yeah.
They had very recently made the Spongebob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the Series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months.
Series?
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
British person that wrote this?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
They call them seasons over here.
Because I wasn't sure if you knew that in Great Britain they call them series, so maybe they were studying abroad.
Yeah.
Me and 2 other interns were in the editing room, along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. Received the copy that was supposed to be Fear of a Krabby Patty, and gathered around the screen to watch.
It was supposed to be that. God knows what it actually was.
We gathered around the fireplace to hear a tale of woe.
I don't understand why would they all be gathered around to watch something that they had all just spent a long time working on.
Well, you gotta make sure it came out okay.
See every STC premiere.
Yeah.
I guess
No.
that's
I know,
true.
we all gather around as soon as we're done recording and listen back.
Yeah, well, I think what it's supposed to be is, I don't know why the interns would be in here, but what it's supposed to be is that these, I guess, are going to be the people who finish it up. Like, this is like not a finished copy.
Like the producers or something checking it over.
Yeah, it says like lead animators and sound, so I'm guessing it's supposed to have like no sound, and it's like the rough animation by the non-lead animators, and then the leads and stuff are going to finish it up.
I guess, yeah. Now, given that it isn't final yet, animators often put up mock title card, sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles, such as "How Sex Doesn't Work" instead of "Rockabye Bivalve." When SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea scallop. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles.
Yeah, nothing particularly funny.
Yeah. I don't think I would have chuckled that if I was at work.
Well,
so when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke.
It's not really even that morbid. It's just dumb.
Yeah. Not that much of a joke either, but... I mean, neither of the other ones were, so...
No.
One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. I was about to ask.
A small throat laugh.
Here you go.
Performative laughter. The happy-go-lucky music plays as is normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down, as he has a concert that night and needs to practice.
As normal.
SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is where things began to seem off.
Okay.
While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation, so yes, that's not common.
So I guess the sound editors were just here for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
They've done all the sound. Yeah, they are just watching.
They're like, hey, look at that. We fucked that up bad. I'm going to lose my job.
Well, at least we caught it now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's why we always have a big group watch party.
Yeah. With none of the people who made it, we're sitting here, and the people who deliver it to us aren't watching with us.
I think, you know what, honestly, this is a bad premise for a story, any sort of thing like this. I mean, maybe someone could make it work. I won't discount anything. But I think it would, if you wanted to add like a scary detail, rather than just a bunch of schmucks who don't even say anything, why not say one of the voice actors was there, and then you could have like a, wait, I don't remember recording that sort of moment, you know?
That could be something.
And then it's like, well, wait a minute. Then who did record it? Like, I don't know. Like, instead, like, these people don't even say anything. It's just, they're all just sitting here in silence watching this.
But when he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened.
Wow.
There is slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing that is common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it.
Okay.
What?
SpongeBob does that.
Yeah.
Like the show.
That one episode ends with them all booing Squidward anyway, remember?
Oh, but it
Boo,
was
stinks.
This guy stinks.
that was cartoon booing.
Oh.
Yeah, you know when it has that distinct cartoonish
That non-malice in it, yeah.
That complete
We
lack
don't
of
like
malice.
it. We don't like it, but we have no malice towards you. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd, with SpongeBob in center frame. And he too is booing. Very much unlike him. That isn't the oddest thing, though.
What's the oddest thing?
What is odd is everyone had hyper-realistic eyes.
Yes.
Oh my fucking god!
This is the one that started it
Is
all,
this
my
the one
boys.
that started
Maybe
this?
this was ground zero or
this
something.
No, it
fucking
really
Ground
was.
Zero?
After this story, everyone decided that was the scary detail, and so they used it.
Detail are these
Fuck!
eyeballs.
Hyper realistic.
Eyeballs.
Very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but
Oh.
something a bit more real than CGI.
So,
What?
Like
What?
what?
like what?
Can
What?
you please be
Yeah,
more
what?
specific?
I guess like rotoscoping?
What's realer than real?
I said, what's cooler than being
Yeah,
cool?
yeah. Well, not as real as real, but more real than the closest thing to real.
The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other. A obviously confused.
Yeah,
But since we weren't
that?
But since we weren't the writers,
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't question its appeal to children yet.
I just punch the clock, animate, and go home.
Was that your job at the internship? Like, appeal to children of each episode?
I mean, what do the sound editors
Explicitly,
do? It says
he
all the
doesn't-
sound editors are
None
here.
of them have any sort of influence on whether or not it's, nobody gets to question whether or not it'll appeal to children. That's the writers.
Only the
job.
writers, yes. Like, no one
Only
else
the
involved in this
writers.
process has any say in any part of it. Like, the producer, nope.
Get
This
the
seems
fuck
a little
out.
weird.
Give us your money and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute here, though. Like, I want to make it very clear. It's like, so the sound editors are here, and they don't have anything to say about this. And the lead animators, who we were trying to give, like, the benefit of the doubt of being like, oh, they're just going to do the finishing work, have not even seen the work print before this at all.
Nope.
No.
And the
have
interns
nothing-
are here for no
I mean,
reason.
maybe they have. Maybe they have, and they're just like, this is normal. Like, they have nothing to say because this seems perfect.
Maybe the intern is just a little babby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he's a babby. He's last
is like
to the
every
party. He
episode
doesn't
of
know about this
SpongeBob,
great
okay?
episode.
Have you
Yeah.
watched SpongeBob? It's well known for being, very edgy and dark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I love when they made that one episode that referenced this.
Mm-hmm.
Just to mess with people.
The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is at this point there is no sound.
That sound editor's
Wow.
fucked
That's
up
not
hard.
unsettling. That's just boring.
Those sound editors leaned back in
Literally-
their chair and said, yep, whoo-wee.
Literally,
That was an easy one, let me tell you.
no
I
sound.
literally didn't have to do my job for most of this.
Literally no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room.
Oh my god, SpongeBob turned off sound
Question
IRL.
It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly.
They're in
He just
perfect
sat
health.
there. He just sat there, blinking in this silence for about 30 seconds.
Jesus.
Then he
I
started to
timed
sob
it.
softly.
I mean,
that's about as long as it would take for everyone to look over at the sound editors, go, what the fuck?
Yeah, what
and
the
the sound editors to go, I don't fucking know. I had sound when I put it in.
I don't know what the
sound
fuck
in,
you're
I
talking.
promise.
It's like this must not be the final cut. Why are we still watching this? He put his He put his hands tentacles over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more.
Okay, alrighty.
All the while, a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest.
a barely audible, very subtle sound, but I could identify it perfectly.
Yeah, and I can tell you what it sounded like.
It sounded like the rustling of leaves in a
I have
forest of
incredible
about
hearing.
this
Wow.
size.
It sounded
What
like
your-
light shining through a fair maiden's hair.
What do your elven ears hear? The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart, side by side. Which I guess we were doing.
Yeah, I guess we did that.
How long is this going?
Wouldn't you just shut it
No
off
one
at
has
this
any
point?
issues with this. Everyone's just like, yeah, alright, that's what the writers said.
See, they lull you in with the 30 seconds, and then the next paragraph, it's, watching 10 minutes of nothing, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah, everyone says, everyone's waiting, and someone's like, hey, wait a minute. I thought that was supposed to be a 6-minute zoom, not a 7-minute zoom. Oh no, the script says 7 minutes. Okay, never mind.
It's all
Looks good.
Apparently.
Yep. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists in on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through I don't know what that
Yeah,
means. The wind through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere.
In a forest,
ear-
maybe.
The eerie part is this sound and Squidward sobbing sounded real. As if the sound
would they
wasn't
sound like?
As if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes the sound was coming through from the other side.
Okay,
What the
What
fuck?
the
So-
fuck does that mean?
That means nothing.
What I get from this is that this person in their life has only had horrible speakers.
Just dog
Yeah.
shit.
Well, they think speakers are magic, apparently, because guess what? Speakers are kind of holes, and it does come through the other side.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like Yella said, I think this person's just only ever experienced totally horrible speakers. Like
That
tinny,
just went-
shitty
yeah.
speakers. And
Laptop
finally he's
speakers,
hearing
yeah.
clear speakers, and he's like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
'Cause these would be
it's
like
like
speakers
it's
that reflect
magic.
what was recorded from real people.
Yeah, this would be like studio monitors, so yeah.
Yeah.
Monitors
Well, I
being...
mean, are they in the break room?
They're in the sound editing room or something.
Yeah, so this would be
something,
like
yeah.
studio monitors, which...
It would have been studio monitors if they were in an editing
Which, for those who don't know, monitors does not mean screens in that instance. It means it's a type of speaker.
Does this person think maybe, since Squidward's voice actor puts on a voice for Squidward, that crying with a silly voice is not real crying?
Yeah, so it's
Well,
just...
I mean, if you're acting,
Yeah, so it's just Roger Bumpus just crying. Maybe he read the creepypasta.
maybe he thinks that acting crying is so obviously different than
Well,
real
doesn't-
crying
it
that he
doesn't
can
have
always
malice.
pick it out.
Doesn't have malice in it,
That's what it is. As good a sound as the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce sound of that quality.
Yes, they do.
What
Nickelodeon's a
shitty
huge studio.
man.
Yeah. This place just sounds like it sucks. It sounds like garbage.
It's literally their fucking job.
Like they would have they have top of the line equipment.
Like that way they can hear it exactly as good as it maximally could be, so that when you're listening at home, it will sound at least a certain quality.
It will sound as good as it can
Yeah.
sound from your setup.
Yeah. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing.
Oh.
It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a
People
second.
fucking reading this shit.
So you had a hard time pinning it.
Yeah, on Pinterest.
Hold on. This parenthetical
do we get
blows me. Hold
transported
on.
into this fucking story?
Hold
Hold
on.
the fuck on.
This parenthetical is amazing. We watched this show twice. So pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
I don't even know why you watched it once.
Yeah. Also, I mean,
Would've
that
given up long
makes
before now.
it makes it less creepy because we could be like, oh, it's haunted. But if you were able to watch, like usually haunted things, you can't just rewatch the ring tape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you watch it once, then you get haunted, and then you're dead. Or
So if you
you're
watched it twice-
traumatized, and you can't watch it again.
This reads exactly as if he thought about this and was like, wait a minute, this shit makes no sense. I'd better explain how I know all this. I watched it twice.
Yeah.
So,
So
now
there's
it's no,
nothing.
it's not
So now we know there's nothing like
supernatural.
like paranormal or scary about this.
Right, it's just weird.
It's just
Yeah.
dumb.
And also, he had the time to take notes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he felt like doing so.
Well, the world has to know, Bob, about Squidward's suicide.
After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over the screen, as if a single frame was replaced.
Yeah, it's a YouTube poop from like 2009.
The lead animation
mashed
editor...
dicks.
The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible.
So they did this twice.
Yeah.
Well,
It was a still photo of a dead child.
edgy.
He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied. One eye dangling over his upturned face, popped.
His face was popped.
No, his eye.
No, his eye was popped.
He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and his entrails laying beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road.
Could have been anything.
I
Yeah.
also really, really like that they still watched to the
They
end
watched
of
it
this
twice.
tape, and then went back and watched it again.
All right, so they're like, oh man, clearly like a serial killer got into the studio and fucked up this
Did some
video
weird shit, yeah.
Because if it's not supernatural, that means that it's like
Some human being sat down and made this.
Yeah, so that means either one of the
God.
lead animators found, like, you know, gore photos online and is fucking with you, or somebody who should not have had access to it put this stuff in. And either way, that's a little concerning. Maybe
There's
rather than
clearly
watching
a
it.
security breach.
Yeah, either a security breach or somebody is, like, just doing something that it goes beyond work inappropriate jokes.
I mean, like, I think at that point that counts as a security breach. You need to
Yeah.
fire that person.
Yeah, fire that person or find who did this, but it's like you should just watch it twice
I'll watch it again, you know, just to take notes.
just to make sure.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it is actually this. It's actually
Yeah, it
this.
is actually this. You know, let me watch it a third time. You know, maybe just one more time.
Third time's a charm, my
that's
friends.
How that's how they do it in labs. You know, you do it a measurement 3 times so that you can be certain that your results are reliable.
Measure thrice, cut once, you know?
Yeah, that's why my cakes are very sugary. I put 3 times as much sugar in as I should.
You measures a
that
cup of
sounds like a
sugar,
different
and then
problem,
measures the
but
second
okay.
cup of sugar, and then measures the third cup of sugar.
And I put them all in, and I'm like, oh, I probably should have put in just one of those.
Yeah, probably.
The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer.
Oh
There was
yeah,
no
the most
crime
upsetting
tape.
part is not the dead child.
There was no
Yeah, that's
crime.
okay. I was all right with that one.
Bad photography, though.
Yeah,
There was no
this
crime
photography's
tape.
Fucking terrible.
No evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem the photographer. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death, not necessarily.
Yeah, he could have just seen it and then took a picture of it
I don't know.
before everyone else got there.
I wouldn't, but he might have.
Yeah, which is still kind of upsetting to think about, but not.
But not nearly as bad as just a. I mean, I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that it was just a sick joke.
What is wrong with
It was
you?
weird, but we kept watching.
Yeah, it's the classic. We saw literal fucking a little picture
Snuff.
of a murdered child, but maybe it's just a goof, you know.
Yeah, a goof. Wow, what a prank, boys.
I mean, everyone's got different tastes. Maybe
Yeah.
this guy's just got a very different sense of humor.
Yeah, what a knee slapper that was. Am I right,
That's
boys?
a real humdinger, a real
Real
whopper
humdinger.
of a doozy that you
Yeah.
just laid out
Say-
for me.
He
There's
really
no-
pranked us good.
Here's the thing: there's no bad comedians. There's only bad audiences.
Oh,
These are
right.
real bad audience, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'm glad our audience isn't bad all the time.
Yeah.
Unless you say I'm not funny, in which case.
Yeah, you're a real bad audience.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body in frame.
Okay,
There
so
was
that
now
had
what a-
nothing to do with the rest of the story. Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Why do they always do this? They always have to add like one detail that like undermines
A
the
spook 'em?
entire rest of this fucking scary part.
I mean, the rest of
It's
this
like,
isn't
oh man,
scary
I'm
either.
worried Squidward's suicide isn't scary enough. Let me add a dead child. That'll definitely make it scary,
Well,
even though
it's
it doesn't
edgy, man.
relate.
Edgy things are scary.
Shock factor.
Yeah.
There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his
What a-
eyes.
what
The
appeared to be.
blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers.
That is
Thanks.
how blood
Looking
works.
as
Yeah,
if
that's how
you
blood
touched
works.
it. Okay. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds of branches. The laughing, a deep baritone, lasting a lot at longer intervals and coming more frequently.
My boy.
Oh my god, it is that!
It is. Oh.
After about
Squidward, my
20
boy.
seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. Oh man, I'm
I
so
love this.
fucking scared right now.
Oh man, I wonder what it could be. Could it be another dead child?
Yeah, I know. You kind of blew your
editor-
load there earlier, didn't you?
The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were. But he knew he had to.
Why? Why
he
did you
had
have to
no
do it?
choice, guys.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
You know
This
I had
time-
to do
Only
it to
cut
him.
of the episode. We have to keep this and just slice up the one frame of dead children.
And then Eric,
You
After
know-
we remove the dead children, It's good to
It's
ship.
fine. It's a bit short.
Oh
for an
no, this
of
episode is
SpongeBob,
3
but-
frames short. Oh well. This time, the photo was that of what appeared to be a... Oh my god.
What appeared to be.
I don't know what's going on with this writing.
Yeah, why did this... In the last 2 paragraphs, it's really just... He's added layers of abstraction.
As if what appeared to be,
Yeah, it's the classic thing a shitty writer does where they're scared to commit. So, what appeared to be a little girl. Instead of...
I don't think it's that
been
they're
anything.
scared to commit. I think it's that they think it makes them sound more, like,
Yeah.
deep and
Well, I
interesting
don't-
and, like,
I don't-
dynamic to have lots of extra words in there.
I don't mean actually scared to commit. I mean, like, they use words that don't commit.
Yeah.
Yeah. This time the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach. Her... Is that barrettes?
Barrettes, yeah.
Oh man, another dead child. How nice.
Okay, her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped out and popped.
Wait,
naked,
What the fuck
except,
does that mean?
Once you pop, you can't stop.
naked except for underpants.
Oh, this is a Pringles commercial.
Her entrails were piled on top of her above another crude cut along her back.
See, now I know why this wasn't aired, because this is actually a Pringles commercial, and they weren't about to
The
air that without being
advertising.
paid. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Again, the body was on the street, and the photographer's shadow was visible. Very similar in size and shape to the first.
It's a shadow!
That's a fucking shadow.
That's a shadow of a human.
I guess the lighting was the same.
Yeah.
Shadow. The.
I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out.
Girl, female,
Yeah. Wow.
female.
The show resumed. What an odd detail to
The
fucking
show must continue.
the only female in the room.
That too.
Like, I just want you to know that the men were able to stick it out, but the women,
The one woman, you mean?
don't
Of course,
worry.
it's the one woman who runs.
Don't
out.
worry, she had way better taste than the rest of us.
Yeah, she was smart.
She had better shit to do than watch this dumb fucking
Yeah,
garbage.
exactly. Turn that around. She's the only one smart enough to be like, yeah, I'm not watching this
Yeah,
shit.
all right.
She's the other one who's like, maybe
this is
we oughta,
obviously
like-
going nowhere.
Why don't we just call the police instead of watching this 30 times?
Yeah.
You guys are like, duh,
I watched
okay,
it
I'll
29
watch it
times
2 more
before, but I
times.
had to be sure, so I watched it a 30th.
Oh, I hate this, but I can't look away.
I can.
And she's
Goodbye.
like, I hate this, and I can look away, so I will.
I will. Goodbye.
You guys are weird. Why are we still watching this?
What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
About 5 seconds after this second photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all sound, like it was when the scene started.
Feels like eons ago.
Yeah.
He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism, like the others were in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah,
They were
how scary.
bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating.
Squidward gonna kill himself or not?
He just stared at the screen, as if watching the viewer.
As if.
After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was
Okay.
piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all is his sobbing was mixed with screams.
Rule number
I'm
one of
so
horror
glad we had to
writing.
look at 2 dead kids to get this far.
I'm
Thanks.
Yes.
so afeared.
You know, number one rule of horror writing, don't tell us that it's scary. Most
Yeah.
fear-inducing.
You feel
you
scared
scared
yet? I
yet?
told you it was scary. You feel scared yet?
I mean,
Tears
it's
and
just
blood.
Directions.
Yeah. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep-voiced laughing. And this time, the still photo lasted for a good 5 frames.
Whoa,
Okay.
that is like
Okay.
Wait a minute.
a short bit.
Yeah.
1/6 of a second. Like, it's not even like a Tyler Durden single frame thing. You can
Yeah.
clearly see what it is.
the animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up.
But it was 5
I want to
frames.
see another.
But it lasted for 5.
Come on.
Wanna
Third
see
time's
it?
the charm, baby.
If
I mean, wait a
it's,
minute.
Another 3
if
frames
it's
of
a
this
still
shit.
photo, hold on though. If it's a still photo, you stop it on the 4th frame of the 5
And it's just
in which
there.
it appears. Why
The
are
next
you
frame and
backing
the
up?
last 3 are all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And also, I'm pretty sure SpongeBob being, animation that started in the 90s, this would have been early 2000s, it was probably done at the standard 24 frames per second. So this is probably on screen
so
for a
it's
while.
a fifth of a second.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right.
This time the photo was of a boy, about the same age, but this time the scene was different.
This
Oh,
time.
okay.
This time
It
will
was
be
the same
different.
the last time.
The entrails were just being pulled out from a stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped and dangling, blood
Yes.
trickling down it.
Calling card.
The
Okay.
animator proceeded.
Fuck.
It was hard to believe, but the next one was different, but we couldn't tell what.
Seriously?
What?
It was different and hard to believe, but we couldn't even. It was so indescribable that I will not attempt to describe it for you now. He went on to the next. Same thing. He went back to the first and
Why?
played them quicker, and I lost it.
What?
I vomited on the floor, the animating and sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos.
What?
They were played out as if they were frames from a video.
You have no
The
idea how
fuck?
photography works.
This
Okay.
Guys, so it
paragraph
wasn't a
is
still photo.
nonsense.
So
God, I'm
it started
so
out
confused.
as a single photo for 5 frames, and then turned into we just put 5 frames of someone filming us pulling the entrails out of this child. And that's what it was. So it was 5 different frames.
But at
Yeah,
the same time, it's like he stopped on the 4th and backed up, and then like when they go through these frames, he sees one frame, the very first frame, and he's like, okay, hand, entrails, boy laying there. Then the next 2 frames, couldn't understand what he was seeing at all. And then when he went back to the first and hit play, it was clearly a hand pulling. Like, how were the middle frames totally unintelligible on their own?
I don't know.
I don't know what
Smear
you...
frames?
Complete nonsense.
Artifacting? I don't know.
Yeah, I
Complete
guess.
fucking nonsense.
We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink.
This footage had to have been hyper realistic for you to be able to see in that detail.
Yeah, I assumed it was like grainy, your typical snuff film stuff, but this killer filmed in HD.
Yeah. They got like 4K camera to film their snuff film.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna film it, you gotta use the best.
And I love this next part. This is where it's so obviously written by, well, it's not pretty obvious so far, but then you can tell they're just 13 writing this.
The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator to see this.
Why?
No, don't worry.
Creator.
They watched it through entirely, then went back and watched it again to this point, and then stopped and called in Mr. Hillenberg. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15
Why
minutes.
would they call him?
Rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah.
He was confused as to why he was called down there. So the editor
yeah.
just continued the episode. Once the few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound again stopped.
What?
I feel like this is an awkward episode to walk into the middle of. I feel like maybe they should have restarted it.
Maybe they
Squidward
should have
was-
explained the situation with words.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's like, why? Oh.
But look! And then they just show him.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
now
like,
I know.
Why
Thanks.
did you call me down here? Sir, you have to see. Watch this. And it's like one of the frames of a child getting its guts pulled
He's
out.
like, okay,
Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Why are you showing me this?
Can you at least give me the context of why you're showing me this very work inappropriate thing? No, it is related to our work. That was in an episode. Oh, you should have
Yeah.
said that from the beginning.
Also,
Oh yeah,
also,
this episode. Yeah, I remember
Otherwise,
the
you were
writers
just
insisted.
harassing me.
Oh, this episode. I remember the writers insisted on putting this in the episode. I wanted to tell them no, but you know,
I'm
Also,
just the
I'm
creator.
just the creator. I can't
I don't
do
know
anything
what
about
kids
this.
like.
when he was alive, Steven Hillenberg was like, worked on every episode himself, It was very much his baby. Why would he just be like hanging out somewhere else and they're like, oh, by the way, you gotta see this
like
episode.
I said, he the writers knew that this would be appropriate for kids, so he had to listen to them.
Who is he to question them?
Yeah, who is he to question them?
Yeah, who was he to?
Not a writer.
No,
Not the. I almost said not the creator. No, that's not
merely the creator.
true. Merely the
Squidward.
creator.
Squidward was just staring at the viewer, full frame of the face, for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out,
I've seen
and
that bit
that
in
deep
episodes.
voice said,
Do it, my boy.
and we see in Squidward's hands a shotgun.
Oh, finally.
A gun.
Rip and tear until it is done. He immediately puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Pshaw. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with the force. The last 5 seconds of this episode show his body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling on what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly.
But is
at
it popped?
Yeah.
Then the episode
I
ends.
have to know.
Okay, well, that was a weird episode of SpongeBob. I guess it's TV appropriate. What do you guys think?
Mr. Hillenberg is obvious. I don't know why we're in present tense now.
Yeah.
Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry at this. He demanded to know what the hell was going on.
back in
Most
past
people
tense.
Most people left the room at this
Instead
point.
of answering
Not
them, they
my
just
problem.
left.
What the hell is going? Where are
Yeah.
you going?
I'm sorry, bro. I got things to do. Okay.
It's like my my lunch break or something.
Oh,
Bye,
Beans, I
bye-bye.
better get back to work.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So it was just a handful of us to watch it again.
Oh my god.
Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and cause me horrible nightmares. I'm
Why
sorry
did
I
you
stayed. I'm
Why?
sorry I
mean-
stayed.
He's the intern. You don't want to be the intern, and just leave when
Yeah.
the main guy is
You'll
there.
get
Oh,
fired
yes.
for sure.
Imagine
you're
how that
fired or
looks. Like
something,
horrible thing is on screen and they see the intern leave and they're like, wow, that intern is lazy.
Steven, what do you
Absolutely.
think of them? Yeah, they're not cut out for this line of work.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll end up with an episode that's not exactly watchable, okay? Doesn't
It
mean
just
you walk
happens.
out of the
Listen,
room. It
listen,
happens.
That is all how it goes. When you make an episode, you draw some
watch it back.
pictures, and then you say some noises like into a microphone, and then
Like,
you just
ah,
throw
oh,
that into
eh.
yeah, exactly. Then you throw that into a computer. And then the computer does its thing, and an episode
Makes the
rolls
hyper-realistic
out.
blood.
Yeah. Sometimes,
You have-
that's a bug that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
fucking
I mean-
SCP.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have no idea how much demonic shit I need to get rid of in between me editing a video and actually rendering it.
That's
Once
fair.
I edit it, I have to go back because there's always demonic shit that just
There's
got
always
thrown
like
in
a
there.
couple dead kids for some reason.
That's
that
why we had to
showed
get
up
rid of
in here.
the steel donut intern
Yeah.
for a while ago because he just wouldn't stop like freaking out about the demonic shit. He's like,
Yeah.
it's summoning a demon. It's possessing me. I'm pregnant. Like, I was like, come on, fucking give it up.
Like,
That's why
this ain't
Connor
even
had to
the
be
worst thing I've
ordained
seen.
so he could cast the demons out of our videos.
Right.
I was speaking
Fun
of,
fact,
are
Connor
you?
is in fact a holy man.
Yeah, how many weddings have you officiated in the meantime, Connor? It's a good side business for you.
I mean,
Right,
he
well,
can
I mean, that's-
keep in mind he
that's
can
kinda
only
dried up,
officiate Scientology weddings. So
Also, for every month of videos, I then need to get tied down, and you get an exorcist and get the demon out of me again.
I have
Yeah.
to get
Oh yeah,
It's a thankless job.
yeah,
yeah. Pour one out for my boy.
Everybody thank Connor, please.
yeah.
Thanks.
Thank
Connor.
Can we get some
Connor.
milk in the chat over there? Pour one out for my boy Connor.
Yeah. Give me some milk. I need some milk. Okay.
The only theory we could think of was the file was edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here.
It's the only possible thing that could have happened.
The CTO was called in to analyze when it happened. The analysis of the file did show it was edited over by new material.
Okay.
However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it.
So it was a demon with editing experience. Okay.
All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches.
Yeah, that's a hell of a glitch right there, my dude.
As if the timestamp may have glitched and showed the wrong time, but everything checked out fine. What? I think you might suspect the person who handed it to you.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like they finished their edit, hit save, immediately pulled the flash drive, and walked over to you.
Yeah.
I like foreign hardware as if you're gonna find a panel that has like the skin of the Necronomicon across it or something.
Oh man, I knew Slovakia would want to edit this work print while we were watching it.
What computer part?
Beans.
What computer part is the one that contains a row of human teeth? What is that for?
Oh god.
No, that's the one we're supposed to take out.
Fuck. God
I thought we
damn
took
it.
all of those out. Okay, let's just go back in.
Why
Take out
do-
the.
why
I have
do
to
these
edit this fucking thing again.
Honestly,
fucking
changing the.
possessed teeth keep getting
Honestly,
into my
getting
computer.
getting things changed around here is like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
I open it
Nice.
up and there's just beans inside. What the fuck? What are all these beans here for?
Yeah, today we're doing a workbench test for the latest GeForce. Well, here's the thing. It is demonic. You will want to pull it out when you're not playing a game because demons will orbit your room. But oh my god, you can play in like 16K at like 500 frames per second.
Also,
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
do
It
make
harvests
sure-
the souls of dead children to get your, GPU working, but
Do
holy
make
shit,
sure,
does
though,
it work?
Very important part of it of maintaining it. You need to brush the teeth that grow out of it because
Oh,
those
Jesus
need to be
Christ.
nice and shiny.
Are you sure you shouldn't be writing creepypasta, Yella? Because like hard electronics that grow teeth is a very unpleasant idea.
You shouldn't see an exorcist. We're all haunted.
No.
Don't look now, but there's a skeleton inside you. There was an
What the fuck?
investigation.
Don't look. You'll spook it. You don't want
We
to startle
don't
the
know.
skeleton.
We don't know what happened, and to this day, nobody does. That's what
Yeah.
the phrase "we don't know" means.
It's definitely the guy who handed it to you because again, it was edited 24 seconds before viewing.
There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it.
Yeah, dead
No
children
child
don't mean
scene
jack
was
shit around
identified,
here.
and no clues were gathered from the data involved, nor physical clues in the photos. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before, but now that I have something can happen. What?
Wow.
But now that I have, they meant had. Now that I had something happen, but it's now that I have something.
Or it could even be past perfect now that I have had something. Have had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before, but now that I have something happen and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things.
Oh, great!
Wow.
Thanks for a little bit of propaganda there for believing in stupid shit.
Turned me into a critical thinker.
Yeah,
I think
wow,
twice
I'm
about
so
it.
much
I'm
smarter now.
Super skeptic.
Well, the opposite of a
Is
skeptic.
everything normal?
I just love that you can that the person that wrote this story was clearly like, I guess Squidward killing himself isn't shocking enough. I better throw in some dead kids here too. That'll
Yeah.
really make it scary.
Yeah, well,
Did not have enough faith in his.
It would have worked better if at the end if they found out it was a serial killer, but instead they try to make it.
Yeah, I know. Like that would have been like the thing that blows my mind is like this could have been scary if like they had gone with a supernatural angle or like
a serial
like
killer
had
angle.
the serial killer angle, but whenever you like deny both and just be like, man, that was really
Yeah,
weird.
so
you
which one
you're
could
not
it be?
scared of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now it's not a ghost or a demon, but it's also. So did
Not a
kids
serial
really
killer.
die?
It's just wow, that was really weird,
And it apparently never happened again.
and it never happened again. Like wow, okay, that was really weird. I'm not scared because
It would have been better. Honestly, it would have been better if we had a Stephen King ending and it was just aliens.
Yeah,
Guys,
like literally any explanation. He started out by saying, "If you're looking for an explanation, you'll be disappointed." Like literally
Yeah,
any
I'm
explanation would have
disappointed.
been fine.
I'm
But
not
if
sure
you
it
don't
would've made
have
the
one,
episode-
it sucks all the fear out of it. Because instead of
I don't know if that's the main problem or the only problem, but
Well,
it definitely
definitely
would
not.
have helped. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it was
Can we
the only
can
problem.
we take a
but,
look
like,
at the comments section?
There's almost 2,000 of them.
Because there's a lot of recent comments. For example, I am literally too scared to watch the vid. I'ma do it. Frowny face. That's the opposite of too
man.
scared to watch the vid.
And Commander Quebec shows
I'm glad you picked that one, yeah.
Yeah, they show a great misunderstanding of how things work in America. This sounds like some FBI classified stuff. Honestly, I'm not kidding when I say that. It sounds like what the FBI would play on live TV as an experiment.
Yeah, that's what the FBI would do for
Polybius
sure.
isn't real, idiot.
FBI doesn't... I don't... You're in... Okay.
Okay.
I like. Oh God, Chloe's Pier 18 just says, I ain't watching that video. I'm already scared enough by the story. But then the two comments, both by I love anime and Creepypasta. Great name. Capitalized like one of those SpongeBob memes. It's not really scary. It's just Squidward screaming like he is stabbed by a knife slowly.
I
Oh,
hate
hi, Smile Doggo.
I mean, I would also scream if I got stabbed by a knife.
Oh, man.
Slowly.
People are still scared of this.
Can I scream now, Skylar?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
if
well,
I
a
want
child
to.
is born every year, so.
I'll quote the best friends when they played this Avengers fighting game, and there was a Miiverse page for it, and they were like laughing at it at one point. I think it's Pat just says, "Oh my God, we're just laughing at actual children."
That's how I feel right now.
I would like to go down to in the comments to a comment by Am Forgotten to My Family 2914 who says, "How babies cry with an adult voice."
I think I'm funny.
Squidward, Suicide, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I gotta do one more. Jaden Simpson says, "This story not be as loved as it was about 5 to 8 years ago, but I'll always have a soft spot for it."
You know what? Same. Thank you so much for watching, and an extra special thanks to our platinum level patrons, Polly Hebert, Dr. Faust, Hoshkoff, ODST795, and Stannis the Manus. If you'd like to support us, make sure you check out the description. There's links to our Patreon and PayPal. There's also a link to a Google form. You can fill that out if you have a story you'd like us to cover. You'll also see a link to our casting call page. Right now, we're working on setting up a big project that will be debuting in January of next year. It's the largest story that we've ever covered, and there's a ton of voices. And right now, you can audition to be one of the voices in the story. The instructions are there on the page. Just follow the link and submit your audition. We're looking forward to hearing it. Thanks again for your support, and have a wonderful day.